We're actually here today to
Mhm.
talk about the Board Game Design Conference.
Yeah,
It is
you
starting
know it.
in 2 days. Mike, 2 days. Wait, am I on screen
I
now? Two
yes,
days.
2 days. That's
I
too
can't believe it's
soon.
2 days. We've been working so hard on this thing for
Oh,
so
man.
long.
You wouldn't believe what goes into it. Like, oh, let's just throw a banner ad up somewhere. Oh, well, you got to make that banner ad, right? You got to make it from scratch. Are the clouds cloudy enough? Do we need a little sparkle over here? What's
I
our
know.
what's our phrase gonna be? Hey, mom, where do board games come from?
That sounds good. Does it
That's
sound good because it's 10 o'clock at night, or does it sound legitimately
that's
good?
the problem, right? We don't know. uh,
Well, the banners are all out there. All the
mhm,
advertising is done. We've got
mhm.
a lot of ticket sales, more than we
Yes.
thought,
Yeah,
but
we're
we'd
hyping
love to
it.
have more.
Yeah.
Look at the schedule really quick. So you can get the
All right.
schedule at boardgamedesignconference.com.
Yeah. Let me look at it on my phone.
Boardgamedesignconference.com. I know Mike loves the name of the
Yeah.
conference.
Oh, yes. We tried to make it so you knew exactly what you were
What
getting
was
yourself
happening?
into. Maybe a little too exact, but you know what? I think it's working for us. So let's see
Two on
here.
the nose.
It's a little on the nose. I'm not gonna lie. Let's
So
see the sketch.
lots of industry pros that we booked. Evan and
Yep.
Ed were working hard on the booking. Ed is deep into tech prep right now.
Oh my god, I feel so bad for him. He's like buried in it.
Yeah, I
But
know.
it's smooth though. Actually, it worked. That's always an exciting thing when you're doing something like I hope it works, and
I
then we
know.
tested it and it actually worked.
It does. It
So
works really
really
good.
exciting.
Ed is a bit of a tech guru. Don't tell him we said so,
Yeah,
though.
we don't want to inflate his dome too much over it, but yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he already beats us on most
Mhm.
games. So we
Yeah,
don't really need more things that he
he
does better
yeah
than
he
us.
doesn't he doesn't need any more of a boost here. Um,
So,
so
all
let's
right. So
see.
here's what we've got. We've got the first thing in the conference. It starts May 7th. It
Mhm.
is Friday night, this Friday,
This
um,
Friday.
6 p.m.
Yep.
Grant Lyon is hosting.
Mhm.
He is a board game comedian. Mike,
I
is that a
that's
new
such a
thing?
that's a tight little niche right there, but he's actually really fun though. He's a
He
fun
is.
guy, he's helpful, cool dude, and funny on
He,
top of all
he
that.
is. He really is funny. He's been on our podcast, so
Yeah.
you can catch that episode with Grant Lyon. He was a panelist on
We were
Which
just
Came
talking
First.
when we talked to him recently, he was like, we were trying to figure out, what his role is going to be exactly as host, where he's going to insert himself. And he's like, I wrote an hour of board game jokes. So just we're hoping he can get them all in because that's impressive.
Yeah, it is
I
impressive.
I,
I
I want
want
to
to
see what he
hear an
has.
hour's worth of board game
Me
jokes.
too. I just want to hear a straight stand up like
But
jokes.
I also want to learn something. So
Yes.
so we tried to think of exactly what it takes. You're a board game designer. What does it take to from hey, I've got an idea to here's my published game.
Making that money,
Yeah,
selling
here
it,
it
having
is.
people play your awesome game in the streets.
Right. So, what does it take? That's a lot of stuff and a
Mhm.
lot of board game designers and enthusiasts, people who just sort of have an idea and are wondering whether they should bother designing it and publishing it. This is a conference for them. And we
Yep.
thought about exactly what it is that they would need to know in order
Yeah,
to
I mean,
do it.
I was in that boat trying to design games, and this would have been really helpful. Just a tick off list, because you don't even think of everything when you got that first spark. You're like, all right, I just want to make something cool, but a lot of times you don't start off with the idea that somebody's going to have that in their living room eventually.
Yeah,
You
that's
just
right.
want to.
That's right.
So
And how did it get there?
yeah, how did what? Yeah, what's that
What does it
journey it
actually
had to
look
take?
like? Yeah. What's it going to look like? How's it going to
Yeah.
play? How are people going to feel about how it plays?
Yep.
You know,
So.
what's going to be good about it? What is going to be the grabber and all that?
Mhm.
So we decided to put together a list of what we thought was needed as
Mhm.
old game designers ourselves. This is what we came up with. So,
Yep.
and from there, we took it to industry pros and said, what's missing? What do we need to add? What makes sense? What should
Yep.
be changed or tweaked? And then we produced the schedule and this awesome list of seminars, which I'm really excited
Kablam.
about. So the first one is Friday, May 7th. It is 6 p.m. Play
Mhm.
testing your game online.
Yeah, that's kind of an important one right now, especially in the time we're
Yeah.
living in. A lot of people are learning a whole bunch of new tricks of how to play their games online and get them play tested, and it's great because you can collect the data right there and everything. So,
It is.
yeah,
Feedback is immediate.
yeah,
You can get access to a lot of people.
You don't have to
right?
print stuff in physical form and ship it out to people. So we have Andrew Kuplik. He's made magical unicorns, right? Is that right?
Yeah. And
Yep. So
that's right. And he has done a lot of playtesting online. I think he runs a playtesting group and all that stuff. So he's got a lot of information for everybody about how to get it done. Next up is Friday, May 7th. We're running 2 events every night that we run. So it's going to be 6 nights over 3 weekends, right? Friday and Saturday over 3 weekends. We tried to spread it out and just do 2 seminars a day in order to make it accessible.
Yeah, because you don't want to be sitting in your chair for 4 straight hours trying
right. You don't want to be doing
seminars.
That. So
yep. But the next guy is Zev. You guys might know him from WizKids or even back in the day, Z-Man Games. Zev Schlesinger. And he's doing a big chunk of his thing as a Q&A. So he'll give you kind of a lead in, but it's about pitching to publishers. And since he's a publisher for WizKids, he speaks with a lot of authority there. So you can kind of ask him questions like, what are you looking for when you're trying to get a game published through your company and stuff like that. So think of what you want to ask them, because this is a big time Q&A, and you rarely get an opportunity to just sit down with somebody like that from a big company and just, ask them direct questions like that.
For sure.
That's going to be a good one. I'm really excited about that one. And then the next night, Saturday, we're about to learn how to collaborate with artists with Clemens Franz on Saturday. Boom.
No.
I hope he talks about the artist triangle, where it's like you can have good, fast, or cheap, or you can have any 2 of those things, but not all 3. That's what all my artist friends always tell me. You can have 2 out of the 3. That's it.
So that's the first weekend, right?
Yeah. We got one more on Saturday. We got the title of it is Being a Game Designer is Like Being a Middle School Student. So I think this has a lot to do with personal psychology, getting yourself in the right mindset to actually be creative and put it out there in front of other people.
Yeah. Ooh, that is nerve wracking. I can totally, sometimes it is. So that's going to be a good one with Kathleen Mercury.
Yep.
All right. So that wraps up the first weekend, which is again, Friday night, 6 p.m. and 7:30 are the seminars, playtesting your games online and pitching to publishers.
Yep.
Saturday is how to collaborate with artists. 1 p.m. We decided to do afternoon shows for Saturday because we know y'all want to go out Saturday night anyway.
Yep. And plus with the people in different time zones and stuff coming in, we wanted to kind of give them some options too.
Yeah. So. And then the Saturday, May 8th, the second one is at 2:30. So it's kind of like one seminar, a quick break, and then the second seminar, and then you're done for the day.
Yep.
And then going on to the next weekend, Friday, May 14th. What do we got?
May 14th, we got crowdfunding. Yeah.
Okay, this is a big one. Crowdfunding is super important these days, right? And it's Kickstarter and those types of funding efforts for board games is critical these days. So learning how to do that is a big deal.
That's some of the hardest part for a game designer is to actually get funding for their game, because a lot of times that's not their specialty. The creative types sometimes aren't strong as the business types. There's definitely exceptions, but I am not one of them. This would have been a really helpful course for me.
And then Friday after that,
oh boy,
Martin Wallace, your favorite.
Martin Wallace, my arch enemy.
He's going to talk about the psychology of game design. That is interesting. I'm interested in that because games and how they appeal to me as a customer is a huge reason why I do or do not buy a game.
Yep.
So it's a really important factor in your game design.
Right. And he's a little bit of what he's going to say is probably, I'm guessing here, I'm speculating and I'm hoping, but I think he's going to talk about things being imbalanced looking, but still having balance behind them so that people make different choices and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And he is a balance master. You got to say.
Yeah. That'll be interesting coming from him.
Yeah. I'd like to hear his take on it and why, and I also want to know why he tortures me with all these taxes and,
oh, are you going to monopolize the question Q&A time?
I'm going to peek my head in, but I'm going to put a costume on, like pretend I'm somebody else, Why do you torture me, Martin?
Well, that is one of the great things about this conference. There's Q&A time. You can
Mhm.
actually, if you make it to the live event, which you don't have to do, if you buy a ticket, you also get access to the show after.
Yep.
So you get access to the recording if you miss the actual event, which is great.
Mhm.
But if you're there live, you can ask on the
Yeah.
feed, and Mikey's running the feed. So
Yep, I'm
be nice to
moderating
Mikey.
it. So as we're talking, as the show's going on, if you come up with questions, queue them up into the feed, and then I'm just going to kind of organize them. If there's a lot of repeat ones, I'll kind of ball them up into one question that makes sense, and then we'll get everybody addressed as best we can during the Q&A. And I think a lot of these speakers are really feeling like they want to have a little extra Q&A time. So the talks might be a little shorter and the Q&As might be a little longer. We'll see what happens. And also we'd love your feedback to tell us how it feels to you. Do you want more Q&A time? Do you want more speaker time? So
yeah, we're going to run some feedback questions right after the first weekend.
Mhm.
So if we need to tweak in between weekends, we'll have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. The next one that we have is
all right.
We need your
what's
feedback.
Next?
We need your help. But
We do.
next one we got is social media marketing. And I love Debbie Moynihan. She's awesome. She's going to be running that one. If you haven't met her, she's with Wise Wizard Games. She's kind of like the engine behind that. And she's fantastic with social marketing. Also really approachable. I think she's going to have a lot to say on that.
I know that's going to be great. Social media is everything now. So in addition to knowing how to crowdfund, you're going to have to run that social media like a genius in order to get that actual crowdfunding.
And we're still figuring it out. There's a lot to know there. So
I know I want to go to that seminar bad.
Yeah, I'm going to be listening closely. I hope I don't get too distracted. I got to pay attention to the actual feed, but I will be listening intently to what she has to say there. So let's see. The Saturday 2:30 session is going to be development, the art of working with a shared vision, with Sen-Foong Lim. Oh man, I didn't really know him that well. I met him locally, I think, a while back, but like he's everywhere on Facebook, on all the game design groups, like Twitter. Like you'll see him, just his name's popping up everywhere. But he's going to talk about development and design and all the aspects of that sort of process.
And a shared vision, that's really interesting. What is that going to be covering? The art of working with a shared vision.
So
I think wanting to kill each other while you're designing.
I think it's that relationship between the designer and the developer, which are not the same person. One person has, I want this game to be fun and cool and have all the bells and whistles. The developer says, how can we get all that cool stuff he wants into a package that we can actually sell to people? How, like, you got to, like in development, you're thinking about, well, I don't want to get too deep. I'm letting him talk about it. But yes, this is another one that I'm really interested in. I want to see what he has to say on the matter. So it's a really good course though. And it's kind of a really important inflection point between the game's idea and the game's like full inception into reality. So that's a good one.
Yeah, it's not something I've given much thought to in a long time. And it's a very key element.
Yep.
Next up is a very interesting topic. This is one that I was really excited about, a degree in game design.
Yeah.
So more and more colleges are now offering game design. And yes, this is board games, not video games. Game design in general. It could be video or board. So that I thought was really, really interesting. And it is actually taught by a professor at UConn. So one of the universities here in Connecticut. So I'm really excited. I cannot wait.
And the word is there might just not be one professor, but maybe up to 3 professors on this one. We might have a panel for this one. Very cool. So
that is a huge opportunity.
Yep. Yeah. When I was in school, it was chess club. It was chess club and maybe statistics. That was it. But these guys are actually talking about the full, development of the game and the psychology and everything. So they have kind of a broad range of things to talk about on a topic. So that should be a good one too.
All right. We forgot to say that was the beginning of the 3rd weekend.
Yes, that's the 3rd
Friday,
weekend.
May 21st. Now, Friday, May 21st, the 2nd, the 7:30 p.m. Panel is seminar is.
Yes, very important one, everybody. Listen closely. Self-publishing and budgeting. Budgeting. I'm going to say that word twice. You have no idea how many hidden expenses there are when it comes to getting your game out to the market. And Kurt Covert can speak to that perfectly because he came up from working with big companies doing other things besides board games and worked his way all the way to being an independent and really well-respected publisher of games. So he knows a little bit about budgeting.
Yeah, and it's so key. And another key aspect is setting up your business, which is the first Saturday, May 22nd
Yep.
seminar. Setting up your business. It is something that a lot of game designers, especially if they're self-publishing, forget about or don't know much about.
Yep. Yeah, you got to start way earlier than you think.
Yeah, and you want to have all your ducks in a row. So this
Yeah.
is good, important information about exactly how to get your business going so that you're well protected and your copyrighted materials are your own and all that stuff.
Yep. And we got Anne-Marie DeWitt for this. And I think she's going to tell you about a business plan and really important stuff like that, like written materials that you'll need to get your business rolling. So that's another one that I'd love to see myself.
All right, drum roll. Our keynote speaker, the closer of the event,
the man with the awesome bow tie,
Ryan Arnesia, Saturday, May 22nd, 2:30 p.m. Ryan Arnesia on success as a game designer.
Yes, I realize I don't know anything about Ryan Arnesia other than his awesome game. So it's really cool to actually put a face to the name because you'll probably see that name stamped across a bunch of the games on your shelfie area. But yeah, he's gonna he's got a 30-minute talk and then a long like Q&A at the end, so you'll actually get to ask him some of your burning questions.
Yeah, for sure. So that is the board game design conference, guys. It is starting in 2 days. You can get your tickets. You can go to boardgamedesignconference.com to see information about all the speakers, the full schedule and all that. Or you can just click the link in our bio right now, go straight to the ticket purchases, and there'll be information for you there, links from there to the full website if you want to check it out first. But we worked really hard to keep the tickets reasonable. You know, we've seen these conferences in the past, board game design conferences being over $100 and stuff like that. So we kept it really low, $29.95. It was as cheap as we could do it, to be perfectly honest, and still get the darn conference up and running
to actually make it happen.
Yeah,
that comes out to like $2.50 a seminar. It's cheap.
Yes, so, it really is for critical information that you get access to live with live Q&A and then the recording.
Yeah, and we'll have I think we're gonna have a Discord channel too, where we can chat in between, or like as the conference is going on, get some feedback, just hang out and talk about what you saw.
Right on the Which Game First Discord feed, which you can get to with our website, whichgamefirst.com, because we're hosting the Board Game Design Conference. And of course, we're a weekly podcast, pitch.
Yeah, you see it. Spam.
That's actually, yeah.
But we are actually a podcast, so you should watch.
We are over 100 and almost 150 episodes.
Yeah, we're getting close to 150 right now.
We've been doing it a long time. Big following. Thank you to our patrons, of course, as always. And we'll see you in 2 days at the Board Game Design Conference. Oh my gosh. How do I stop a recording without it being here? Bye.
Let's just keep